thank you very much for for being here this morning. I want to give a thank you to our councilors, to our community leaders and members here this morning. It's a historic beginning for the city of Boston, and I say historic because this is a moment in history we're building to. I say beginning because this is just the beginning. This signing, and thank you to Mayor Janey for signing this, is a beginning for our communities. Now we have to build to November and make sure that this happens. Make sure we make this a reality for our communities. So now is the time to ramp up. Now is the time to educate our communities into what's going to be at the ballot come November and to turn out. A big thank you to everybody that's been a part of moving this forward, because we're not just here because of those you see in front of you this morning. We're here for generations of leaders of color that have been pushing for this moment, and we have them to thank for this. I know other folks today will mention folks by name, but it's important to underscore that we're not here just because of the work we've done or we've put in. We're here because generations of Bostonians have been fighting for deep democracy. Generations of Bostonians have been fighting for a better voice, a more representative voice, not just at the ballot box, but in the fiscal policy of our city. That there's an equal balance of power throughout our city, that our community members feel engaged, feel seen, feel heard, and have opportunities to they themselves decide what the principles and values, which is what a budget statement is. A budget is a statement of the principles and values of our city, and our community deserves and will be, and we will make sure, fighting hard, will be at the table to decide what the principles and values we set forward for our community are. Thank you to all of the members here today, and I'm just going to kick it off to Karen Chen from the Chinese Progressive Association.
Thank you, Andreas. Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Chen. I'm with the Chinese Progressive Association. Ensuring more voices, in government and policy making has been the core mission of CPA. And really, that's the work that all of the community-based organizations do. So today is a good day. Boston took the steps, towards greater democracy and civic participation. And where all of Bostonians' voices will be represented, in our, not just in our policy making, but also in our budget. So with greater democracy and civic participation, we have the opportunity to make big changes, that as we work towards an equitable recovery. And it will also allow the city to bring more people to the table so that we can really work towards food security, stable housing, healthy and sustainable neighborhoods. So I want to thank Councilor Edwards. I want to thank the entire council for your tireless work in all these working sessions, the hearing from different constituents to make this happen. And I also want to thank Mayor Janey for signing the ordinance this morning. So we look forward to Attorney General Maura Healey signing it so that it will be on the ballot in November. So we also look forward to Boston's voter being excited that this will be, a chance for all of us to have a voice in city government. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. Want to say thank you to Councilwoman Edwards for the incredible amount of work that has gone into making this day possible today. I want to say thank you also to Mayor Janey for signing this ordinance today, and very excited about what this means for us at Families for Justice and Healing and the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. I'm here with our budget coordinator, Tracy Mack. This means everything to us. We have been working for years within the most incarcerated corridor in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which runs from Nubian Square to the Franklin Field housing developments. And so when we talk about what participatory budgeting means to our people and to our communities, it is significant. What this will provide is an opportunity after decades of levels of austerity in funding
that goes directly to uplifting and creating thriving communities in neighborhoods that have been most entangled in the criminal legal system. What this does for us today is to open up several pathways to what different looks like. We are working at Families for Justice as Healing and the National Council in Roxbury to create what different looks like through our process called Reimagining Communities. So for us, this means everything. We want to say thank you again, and we look forward to moving this forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to, well, first I'm Councilor Lydia Edwards. I represent East Boston, Charlestown, and North End. And I'm just honored to be here today with the incredible amount of these incredible advocates and my colleagues from the City Council. I want to first, before I make any comments, I wanted to first acknowledge those of my colleagues who did vote for this and are fully supportive of this. Anissa Savi George, for example, she wanted to note that our budget process should be a collaborative effort that will lead to a final budget that is more reflective of Boston's residents and their needs in every neighborhood. The Mayor and City Council, in partnership, will produce budgets that we can be proud of. That's the goal, and that's what we're going to do together. I also want to acknowledge the support from Andrea Campbell. She has also expressed from day one that she is excited about this, and she will be working to help make sure this is a reality for all Bostonians. Councilor Flaherty also expressed his support, as did Councilor Baker, Councilor Arroyo, and several of my colleagues who will speak shortly. Speaking of which, I'm excited to bring to the microphone Councilor Kenzie Bach.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kenzie Bach. I'm the District 8 Councilor, but also the Chair of the Council's Ways and Means Committee. And I'm so excited about this day. I'm grateful for all my colleagues, all of the amazing advocates behind me here, and also to Mayor Janey for signing this. As the Budget Chair, one of the things I try to do is run as participatory a budget process as we can in terms of hearings and working sessions and making sure people know where their money is going in the city. But the reality is that real participation has to involve the kind of levers where people can see not just that their voice is heard, but that it changes what we're doing. And I think the reality is that this long overdue charter amendment puts us in the position to really do that in two ways. It puts participatory budgeting on the table, so it's going to enable the city to set up a process that really gets people, not just the small group of youth that we've got determining one capital budget line item right now, but the whole city brings people into the conversation and says, where do you want your city tax dollars being prioritized? And I think that's so exciting. And then I also think that what people expect of their legislature, which is what we are here as a city council, is that when they come and advocate to us on budget stuff, that we're able to make amendments. That's a pretty standard legislative power. It's a legislative power in just about every jurisdiction in this Commonwealth, and obviously up on Beacon Hill. And it's something that if the city council is able to do it, we're able to have more real conversations about how to make the best budget for all of our constituents every year going forward. So, I've now run 2 budget processes during COVID, and excited for next year when we're going to be running hearings in person, but much more excited about the prospect of us together with the people of Boston passing this amendment, and next year being able to have that real robust participation in the future of our city. So thank you to everyone who got us here.
Thank you. Now I'm going to bring up Councilor Wolf.
Good morning, everyone. I am so proud to stand here with this coalition, folks who have been fighting for a very, very long time to ensure in all facets that our voices are heard and that community members are at the table and that we are getting tables outside City Hall into the communities. And so I just wanted to be here to say thank you. I was proud to vote for this as a councilor, and I wanted to note that, yes, as a mayoral candidate, I support this too. We've gotten a lot of questions. Will this make the process messier or longer or more complicated? And the answer very well may be yes, but it is worth every bit of that participation. It is worth every bit of communities having a voice at the table, because we know that in our city, when one person goes into a room, decides on something, and then comes out and announces it, it doesn't end up delivering the impact. At most, we have seen in our city the same problems discussed over and over and over again, and just nibbling around the edges. We will go farther as a city when we move together. That's what this amendment is about, so I'm proud to be supporting it on the ballot as well. I'll be campaigning for it in addition to campaigning for other things. I'm very, very grateful for this coalition, all the work that you all put in. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce President Pro Tempore, Councilor Matt O'Malley.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's just wonderful to be here on this beautiful Monday morning. You know, when this initiative first, and please, another round of applause for Councilor Lydia Edwards, who's just been an amazing quarterback. Councilor Edwards first began talking about this, and we voted on it twice, as many of you know, at the council. We first voted on it last December, and I said then that I supported it because I believed in the institution of the Boston City Council, because I had such faith in a body with which I hold such reverence, a body that I'm actually leaving at the end of this year, but I know that we're going to continue to be a strong, independent voice in a robust legislative body. Well, the second part of that is I also believe in the people of the city of Boston. That's why I so strongly endorse and support this ballot initiative. I'll be campaigning very, very hard to make sure it passes, because it does allow for better partnership with the executive and the legislature. But more importantly, it allows for that direct voice, that participatory budgeting, the community voice that is so vital. This year and last year, we have seen an increased level of community engagement, of civic engagement, of people understanding, being part of our government. And that's really the beauty of our democracy. Is it messy at times? Yes. Is it frustrating at times? You bet it is. But at our essence, the value of our democracy is that out of many people, one, e pluribus unum. And so to allow a better direct voice of our citizens, of our legislature, we will only have stronger and better budgets going forward. And that bottom line will mean that Boston's AAA bond rating will continue, and we will be in a much stronger place fiscally going forward. Great to be with all of you, and I will see you on the trail. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Councilor Liz Brady.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Liz Braden. I'm the District Councillor for District 9, Alston Brighton. I'm very proud to stand here this morning and support this initiative and thank my colleague, Councillor Lydia Edwards, for moving this forward. I also want to thank Mayor Janey for signing it this morning. I commit myself to working, and also don't forget all the advocates. They've been working very hard to make this a reality. Now the hard work begins. We have to go to our constituents and educate them about participatory budgeting and how important this is to democratize the way we do budgeting in Boston. So thank you all, and I look forward to continuing this work. Thank you.
Proud to bring to the mic Councilor Julia Mejia.
Good morning, everyone. I am I'm an at-large city councilor, and this has been my second time around the budget process. And what I've come to learn is that this is not the mayor's budget. This is the people's budget, and this is an opportunity for us to literally, right, put the people front and center to help us determine where our budget priorities should be. And so I stand here in front of you today, not only in full support, but committed to making sure that not only does this get passed, but that we also hold ourselves accountable to the people's voices, because that is what these times require. I also want to give a special shout out to Councilor Lydia Edwards for her bold and relentless leadership in getting this passed. And as well as Mayor Janey for recognizing that this moment in time is really about the people. So I really applaud her leadership in answering the call and making sure that she recognizes that at the end of the day, nothing about us without us is for us. And if the people are not at the table, we're at the menu. So this opportunity is going to give us an opportunity to put our money where our mouth is and make these priorities happen for all, and all means all. Thank you.
So I'm going to conclude with some quick remarks. First of all, again, thank you so much for being here today. I want to thank the advocates. But before I go there, I want to acknowledge the elders who did push for this. This is the day that Chuck made.
That's right.
This is the day that Chuck made. We were in rooms years ago discussing that the way to truly systemically reform how Boston runs. We must go right to our rules. We must rewrite those rules. And it must be our hands that mold them. Thank you, Chuck. We, of course, cannot forget Mel. Mel is also still a mentor, a guide. He is the light that we always bend towards to remind us of where we need to go. I wanted to bring up those two giants because this is their day too. A year ago, almost a year to the day, 2 weeks or so, we had a budget vote, as you will recall. And it was also a moment of reckoning for so many people around this country. It was inspired by the slow, painful death of a black man named George Floyd. But the reverberations demanded at all local levels around this country, what the hell is your city council doing for you? Where are your tax dollars going? That was the question. How are they being held accountable? And a year ago, while I may have been on a different side from many people who are standing behind me now, on one aspect of that conversation, which was the budget vote, we are forever co-conspirators for systemic change, and we will always be on the same side. So to those advocates, thank you for holding me accountable. Thank you for demanding more of me. And without your demands, I would not have risen to this occasion. I would not have thought about this creativity. I would not have tried, thought, and demanded more of myself. These are my friends. I was working with them before I was in politics. I met some of my first clients at their worker centers. We have been in the trenches. So I say thank you so much. Because of them saying, you know you can do better. We did better. So here we are today. Thank you so much, Mayor Janey, for making sure that the revised version gets through as soon as possible. So just some quick steps, or quick notes on the next steps. Today or tomorrow, we'll probably be filing the revised version with the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General then has up to 4 weeks to make it quote-unquote effective. That means she will assess the constitutionality of the new language and making sure that it is consistent with our general laws, the Constitution, as well as our charter. Upon it becoming effective, we then work on the actual question, and then it goes to the ballot in November. So that's the formal. That's the 30,000-foot view. Today is the kickoff of the grassroots view. Right. We will be working tirelessly through what looks like it's going to be one of the hottest summers that we've ever had. I am so excited that we are here today. Shout out to Gloria Bell from New Bay. Yep. New Bay's in the house. East Boston. And I always have to shout out East Boston. Thank you. So we're going to do this. We're going to go to the ground, and in all hands, in all colors, in all levels, we're going to say we will rewrite the rules because we're at the table now. Thank you so much. We'll stay here for any questions if you have any, and I think that's it.
What do you make of the Municipal Research Bureau's criticism of the proposal? They seem to suggest that this will evolve into chaos and it will be confusing. What do you say to that criticism?
Yeah, no, they've said that every time that people have decided to rise up or try to be at the table. The first time I think they said that was when it came to CPA, Community Preservation Act, and the people of Boston disagreed with them and are at the table. That's right. Actually, I would say that, and they also have opposed even us having a voice in our school committee. So they're par for the course. I don't think they really know. They're kind of a broken record, and if people want to rise up, they immediately want to knee-jerk into saying no. They are embedded and invested in keeping the system as it is. We are not. That's right. Now, as for their fiscal concerns, we just heard from our Ways and Means chair, but also if you look at the language, we make it very clear that there have been some changes. The mayor will set the budget. What that means is the mayor is going to say how much money is at stake. We will not be able to allocate more than that. We also are going to have an Office of Participatory Budgeting that will assess on an annual basis how much can be part of the participatory budgeting conversation, consistent with state law. So we plan on getting this done right and in the most fiscally responsible way, but with people at help.
What about the AG's approval? Do you expect that to be a formality? Is that a done deal? Or?
We expect that we hope, I should say, that she will find that the language as is constitutional and can become effective. And that's the only opinion that really they can offer. They do not make a yes or no opinion about it. It's, so we just expect it to become effective.
And I would just add that actually this issue has been in conversation for over 20 years. So there's been a lot of community discussion. There's a lot of, actually, many city council discussions have gone into this over the years, not just, the current sitting council. So we think that actually there has been a lot of conversation, unlike what they said. So I think that, it is something that the community is for, the council is for, the mayor is for, and we believe the AG's office is for, and we believe that that's also what the, Boston voters want to see at this critical moment.
Councilor, do you still believe that the council should have equal budgetary power to the mayor?
We have changed the language to together so that we're working with the mayor. That's what I believe in. I wanted also to make sure we didn't run up against any concerns about challenging our strong mayor system, which we are under in terms of our in terms of our charter. So we are going. This is about working together, which currently we're not.
Yeah. And what about civilians? Are you worried about the level of civic engagement that it's going to take for them to want to participate, for them to want to vote yes on something like this?
Am I worried about civic engagement?
Yeah.
Never. But do we need to absolutely do a lot of education and making sure